Hello folks, back on the Meister P-47 here. This time we're working on the cowl flaps. I've already built them and now we're getting them installed permanently. Years ago I started doing these under the tutelage of Wayne Fossil, former owner of Solo Props, and he had a really slick way of doing this that I really appreciated, and I've been doing it ever since. But most of the time they're attached to the cowl. It's the way he did it, and most guys do it. But with the change to these radial engines, that system just doesn't work. And here I'll show you why. Here's two Meister cowls. The one on the right here is the standard mounting system with the cowl ring that Meister provides, and you can see obviously that cowl is not going over top of that engine. So if you want to do cowl flaps, you really need to attach them to the fuselage, and actually Scale, that's the way they were anyway. So this is the cowl with the cowl flaps attached to the fuselage, and this is all you need is these mounting tabs here, and you can see this cowl is very easily gotten over that radial engine. So that was the reason why I started doing this in the first place on the Corsairs and the P-47s that have radial engines. But now I do it all the time because I just like it this way. As you can see, when you take your cowl off, the cowl flaps stay with the fuselage, just like the full scale. Now as for the operation of them, let's get them started here. Turn the switch on. Turn one of the batteries on. And I have the radio programmed. I use this switch right here for the cowl flaps, and I mark it cowl so I don't get confused, which at my age I tend to do. So here, let's work them. First notch, and then second notch. Let me see if I can hold it here a little farther away. There, you can see how far open they are. I'll show you inside here. See all that airflow around there? Real good cooling for the radials. Here, we'll shut them. I'll shut them all the way. They're coming all the way closed. Now, you see how slow they work. The reason... now, you can do this with the computer radio, obviously. You know how to slow down servos. And you can use two channels and reverse one. Obviously, they have to be reversed. Here's the servos down here. These work in opposed fashion, pushing the cable up and expanding it and pushing the flaps out, and then contracting it by pulling them together. Here, you can see the way they work here. Let me work the switch and you'll see how those work. See how it pushes the cable apart, expanding the cowl flaps out on the hinges, and then pulling them back in by pulling the cable together. That's a very simple, very, very simple system. Now, the servos I use are high-tech 5685 MHs or the very popular 5645. Now, the reason I use those is because those are programmable. So you can program one of the servos to be reversed, and you can also slow the servos down in the program. So all you need is a Y harness to plug these into your radio and nothing else, and all you have to do is set the direction in the radio, and the servos do all the work from there on, and you don't have to do any programming in the radio, and you don't have to tie up two channels. With 18-channel radio, it's probably not an issue, but this is just a simpler way to plug it into the radio and basically plug and play after you've got the unit built. So that's why I use the high-tech programmable servos. They're Metal Gear, and the 5685, the only difference in that is that it's high voltage, which simply means it doesn't require high voltage, but it accepts a 2-cell LiPo without needing a regulator. So, and at my hobby store, it's the same price as the 5645, so I figured, why not? So that's the cowl flaps. They always stay on the fuselage, and it's very, very easy to get that cowl on over top of that radio once it's installed. And I'll be doing that here in a little bit, and then I'll show you some more on that. But here we go. Cowl flaps. Scale. Functional. And as far as I'm concerned, with the radial engine, a necessity. You have to cool those bad boys. They do get hot, especially the Mokies. And with this thing all the way open, look at all the suction you provide. Lots of air moving through there. Okay, see you next time.